I'm here not to sell advisory opinions, but to say when we have questions like this, and you do have one, you have an issue coming up, it might be good to request that the Ethics Commission take a look at this issue and come down and give you some cover one way or the other.
Is that for personal, individual
We would do-
recommendations or as a board?
I wouldn't look at it as personal at this point. I mean, what we're trying to do here is decide how the agricultural industry would ever be, would be work into the decisions of this board if there were nobody from it. Is that?
But if I personally need somebody to help me make a determination on an issue, where do I go?
To the ethics commission. Okay, and by the way, having a conflict of interest is not a problem. But if you have one and you do not disclose it and you continue to participate, we have a problem. And so it's good to know one way or the other.
Can I say something?
Yes.
I appreciate the discussion really on ethics, and I think all of us here have probably read a clinical study at one time and have seen in the body of the study where people have had to disclose conflicts of interest. So I appreciate it that, I think we're all very familiar with that. And it's taken seriously. I joined this board because I'd like to help the county go forward. Not always being the same. We can't. If you're always the same, you're standing still while everything moves around you. And if everything is moving up around you, then you soon fall behind. So just being the newest member on the board, I just want to thank you for bringing this up, but just knowing that, in my profession and in my life, conflict of interest is taken seriously, and I thank you that you'll be there to advise us. But it's taken seriously, I think, from everybody that I have spoken with up here. So.
Thank you. Okay, just a note that should we find a situation in which somebody has a conflict and has not recused themselves, identified themselves as such, we have a responsibility to notify the county commission, and we do have the power to issue an order of compliance, cease and desist. We can issue a reprimand, and we can recommend dismissal of the individual. So we're not without some authority. Now, a quick note on financial disclosure. We have a requirement for financial disclosure. When you read the ordinance, there is a section in here which we are trying to change. It's not the major financial disclosure, it's the second one. We're trying to change the title on that because it's a misapplication of the term. But currently, only the county commissioners are required to fill out a financial disclosure form. But they do have before them, and I understand we'll discuss this next month with them, a recommendation from the Ethics Commission that this commission be required to fill out financial disclosure forms.
What does that entail?
About 9 pages of information on your financial situation, your sources of income, your investments, any business relationships you have.
Is that the same one when you're on a state commission that you have to fill in?
I don't know, probably very close to that. We would also like to see one from the Board of Zoning Appeals. And we believe that the Ethics Commission is more important enough that we should fill one out too. I believe that the commissioners will have a difficult time with that.
Does it become public information?
Yes, it becomes public. Okay, and in fact, right now,
If there's no issue, it becomes public. You can just request for Information Act, fill out a form. Anyone in the United States could have my financial statement.
absolutely.
Yep.
And by the way, you have the right to know who asked for it.
Most people that wouldn't care.
But as I said, the commissioners are concerned, and I understand this, and this was discussed at length in our deliberations prior to and during, say for Somerset, that the social structure of this county is much different from the counties whose votes passed the ethics law in the state. We do not look like Prince George's, Montgomery, Howard, or Baltimore. We have long-established families with long-established interconnections, and we have a small population. And I know they will be concerned that filling out a financial disclosure form may be a deterrent to getting good people to sit on these panels. Okay? And if they decide that, then we will respect that. One of the things that was interesting about, say, for Somerset was the depth of detail that they were able to get even without financial disclosure forms. So we know the information's out there. They may not have gotten 100% of it, but they came very close.
So any income that I receive anywhere would have to be on that financial.
That's correct.
Anything I own would have to be on that.
That's correct.
It'd be longer than these 6 pages.
We're talking about the attachments now. Volume 2. Yes, and as I said, we are about to go through the process. In fact, we have, all the members of the Ethics Commission have the commissioners' forms. We read last year's, we will have to read this year's and make a decision next week as to whether to release them to the public. Every once in a while, they do generate a question on the Ethics Commission, and we need to get back to them about what that question is and get it answered.
Now, this is commissioners.
Yes.
Do you have to fill in one of being on the ethics commission?
No.
Why?
Well, the ordinance says that commissioners will fill one out, and anybody making more than $110,000, and there's nobody in this county who makes, on county salary, making more than $110,000, but we don't make anything on commission, on that.
But at this point, you're saying only the commissioners are required
Right,
to complete
right,
this?
that's it.
No other commissions?
No other commission.
That's incorrect,
Okay,
because I actually am the attorney for the Board of Elections, and those individuals that serve on the Board of Elections have to file as well.
Well, they did not, and our attorney on Safe for Somerset determined that they should never have to.
They have been,
They have been, but they do not have.
and this is the first year because we received those and they went up to Baltimore, and they were filed for this year.
Okay, well, you filed a different form then.
We filed the state form, we don't file the county form.
That's right, you do not.
But it's a state agency, but that is in fact a board that is associated with this county. And the director, assistant director, and employees file one, as do the members of the election board itself. We had to have a ruling, because I'm the attorney for the board, as whether or not I had filed one. Even though I'm not elected or appointed, I serve at the discretion of the county commissioners and the central committee. Whoever the ruling central committee is at that time, I serve at their discretion and leisure. So it was determined by the ethics committee that I did not have to, but our members did. Now, unless somebody changed that after we did it this year, I don't know.
Well, this ethics committee is only dealing with the ordinance before it, and
Yes,
that's
sir.
Somerset County. Okay, quickly, the bottom line is be vigilant about conflict of interest. Every issue that comes up before you may not require it, but the big ones, at least look around at your qualified relatives. Make sure they're okay and that you're clear. If you do have a conflict, disclose it, and then recuse yourself.
What about future interest?
About what?
Future interest. Future financial interest.
It doesn't exist till you have it.
I have a son, and I've said it many times out here, what we do up here affects our children.
Right.
And we're talking about business,
Yeah.
kind of back to the same place I was before.
I don't, no, I think you're fine.
Just, go ahead.
A qualified qualified,
Relative.
relative is a spouse,
Spouse, parent,
parent, or
child,
child,
and sibling.
and sibling.
Right.
No brother-in-laws, no good friends.
Well, first of all, you can't do anything about friends.
Well, that was mentioned in the case. About
But-
friendships.
But the training that I had from the, not the DA, the Attorney General's office, said, no in-laws, no friends,
Right. You know,
unqualified.
right, we're not gonna chase friends. We do have a recommendation before the commissioners now about adding the in-law.
And there
What if
was
you don't
some-
like them?
There was some question about stepchildren, because we now have a number of marriages and things of that nature, and divorces. There was an issue regarding stepchildren and adopted children, or potential adopted children.
So we're attempting to make Somerset County's law more stringent than the state law.
Correct.
I think we all ought to go live in a sterile
I
bubble.
think,
No, it was a major problem in the state for Somerset. Okay.
well, you say it was a problem. I mean, their case was based on something that the state law didn't address. Is that a problem? That they made a claim that wasn't legitimate?
No, they were within the law.
If the Attorney General says you're, an in-law is not a qualified relative, and they're stating and questioning that it is, the state says it isn't, how is that a problem?
Well, it depends on the issue of the definition of interest that you use.
I mean, I guess it's a problem if you want that case to win, if you're supporting that case that's making the claim, it's a problem.
No, it's a problem when you look at the flow of benefit.
That's where on this one, I just don't see, I'm still not there with you.
Okay.
Because if I asked everyone, we're not asking anyone, but if I asked everyone to raise their hand if they thought I had a conflict of interest because of what I did, you have people raising their.
Well, I'm sure they
I didn't even
raise their
ask them to do it, but they're doing it.
Well,
So they have a right to make a complaint, and I'm telling you,
and they have a right to make a complaint.
I have an interest in everything that happens in this county. as far as
I
I'm concerned.
understand, I understand. That's our job.
And it's the same thing with me. I'm married to a real estate agent.
Well,
So any decision that I make, if you, that's influenced by, according to.
If you sell grain, it makes a difference.
but this
If
is
you
not-
farm
no.
land, but it goes into chickens, which go into chicken houses.
And what did I say? We're talking about a larger community,
Right.
okay? And it's-
So really, I would have to buy a farm right now and apply to have chicken houses built closer than what anyone would prefer, and then
I'm not even sure, that would, at this point, that would constitute a conflict of interest.
How about if I just don't like chicken? I just don't like
No, I get it, he's still here and he doesn't like chicken.
We have to have the diversity. Anyway,
I understand, I feel for you, I understand your position, but, you know, they don't throw money at me for sitting here doing this either.
nobody's throwing any money at me. Anyway, finally, if you're unsure about the conflict of interest situation that you find yourself in, or the group finds itself in, please feel free to ask us. We will do the best we can to get back to you promptly with what we think is appropriate. That's what we're here for. I thank you all.
So I don't need to ask,
I'm sorry?
because I already did. I don't need to ask, I'm good.
I wouldn't do that.
Wouldn't ask?
No, I would ask.
Oh, you wouldn't?
Yeah.
Well, I did.
Now, yeah,
I
well,
was asking you.
You're
I was
asking me,
thinking you thought I was-
I'm only one member of a 5-member commission. Okay, it has to go before my commission, I don't speak for all 5 unless I'm in that position.
it. We thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I think you've represented the commission very well there.
Thank you very much, and good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That we can use.
And that's in the ethics ordinance too.
Gary,
You can't speak on
you
behalf
read
of-
that?